What's going on, people? So, quarterly pickup video time, right? Little later than normal. It's like the 11th. So, I like to get these things closer around to the first, but it doesn't always work out. Also, today has to be my mom's birthday, so there's that. Gotta call her, say something to her. But either way, so here's the thing, right? As I always do, I'm gonna start these things off with the things that are not pictured here, which usually just means it's stuff that was bought for someone else, right? So the first order, the first order of this quarter was included those things. So in that was the Asics Gel NYC wide mesh in dolphin gray and dolphin blue, something like that. Can't remember the exact colors and all that, but those ended up going to my aunt, right? Which very cool. I do kind of like the wide mesh look over like the standard look, but otherwise it's all very much the same. And then also along with that order was a pair of Asics Gel Kayano 31s in the Paris colorway. Yeah, which the Paris one was like they're a limited thing because it was kind of like the platinum in a sense, right? But they did that for the Olympics and all. So they made the Super Blast 2 also in that colorway, which you'll see one of those in a bit here. So otherwise, all the rest of this stuff is all for me. So there is that. It's a lot more than I kind of expected to get, but if I was to label these things with some kind of title or whatever, this would be, or like a theme, this would be like that time when I got back into running. Because as you're going to see, most of this is going to be like straight up running shoes, right? So more stuff that I buy for functionality. I'm not a big just buying for fashion or whatever, because I'm not a fashion guy. It's just kind of a waste of time to me. Because who cares what I look like, right? I barely care what I look like. So anyways, I buy stuff that actually works for me. So I say that to say this. Some people are going to be kind of bored by watching this, and I get that. So there's your warning. Feel free to find something else to do with the next however long of your time. So let's go ahead, jump on into it. I'll give you some not history, but some follow-ups as I go through this. So it might be a little longer. So hopefully you're comfortable. Stack number 1, people. This should be the Cool Matchas, right? Yeah. The Cool Matcha Kayano 31. Big fan of the Kayano 31, honestly. Like, it made some subtle changes from the 30, and they worked out pretty well. I did do a follow-up review on that, just to say how I felt about them as far as running shoes go. And short version, very good. A lot better than everything else that I wore that was of a comparable price with other brands. I would still say to some extent, it's a toss-up between that and the 5X, right? Or I guess the 5. But at least as far as Nike things go, they definitely won that, right? And then this one right here, this is my, I don't know, I haven't put enough time into those Super Blasts, but as of right now, this is my favorite running shoe. This is the Gel Kinsei Max in Thunder Blue. It's one of those shoes that has like the TPU plate in it, right? So some shoes have like a carbon plate, some have other materials. So this is like an actual straight up running shoe. It looks comfortable and whatnot to a lot of people, but I would say if you're just going to wear this for casual wear, don't buy it, because certain running shoes are made just for that, and they're just not a great experience otherwise. Even those, I would bring it up often, the Pegasus 35 Turbo. I really like those for running, but I don't really like them for walking because they just got that whole rocking thing. It's just a little weird. And that it's just got some discomfort because of the plate, right? Just call it what it is, right? Gotta be honest with you guys. Here we go, another Kayano 31. I bought this one because after I'd already got the first one, I saw this later. I was like, oh, I like that more. This ended up being the shoe I wore to Comic-Con. My mom, I bought her the Parises for that same reason. San Diego Comic-Con, that is. Tickets go on sale next weekend if you're going for the open registration. Just know that. 9 a.m. Pacific, I think. Either way, so this right here, Kayano 31, it's the platinum version. All you really get for that is just like a better look, right? Everything else is very much the same. It's got this kind of cool little wood grain type of thing going on. Something is different about the tongue, I believe, too. But otherwise, as far as the feel, everything is like the exact same. You just get something that looks pretty nice, at least in my opinion. Not all the platinums are really all that great, to be honest, though. That one I do like. But you got to be sure you want it, because the price difference goes from 160 160 to 185, I think, something like that. So it's a noticeable difference, right? For like a cool look on the side. Up next, we have whatever's in this box, should be the Nimbus 9. So yeah, the Nimbus 9 in the Joker colorway. Haven't pulled these out just yet. I do have some Batman shirts on the way, so we'll probably break these out at that point. From Roosevelt's, of course. So anyways, this right here, I don't really have anything to say about the Nimbus 9, because like I just said, I haven't worn this. I don't even remember what I said in the review about it, but I'm going to assume that it probably feels fine, right? It's kind of a cool look. These did sell, not quickly, but they at least sold out from Asics, but it's not like a special release. It's like Orchard and some other color, right? Nightshade and Orchid. But a lot of people call it the Joker ones just because of the look they have. But if you look up the style code from like the review or whatever, give that a search on the old Google or the Yahoo or Bing or wherever you search for things, Yandex, DuckDuckGo perhaps. Wherever you search for things, you'll probably find it, right? So just gonna say that in case you are curious about getting those. Stack number 2. So this will be the Sand Drift, yeah. So this right here is going to be, like I just said, the Sand Drift Nike Invincible 3. There are more words in that, but I honestly can't remember them or what order they would even go in. But this one right here, I want to say this was like 190, something like that. And it's not bad, but again, I just preferred the Kayano experience overall. And the color selection was also better on the Asics side. But I guess I can't really talk down on them. You know, if you need a running shoe, this is gonna do pretty well for you. You know, I want to say it was like leaned more towards stability than cushion. But I did a follow-up of these as well, just like a short, like 2 or 3 minute video talking about that. And I haven't worn them since, so that's why things are kind of like blurry in my head. And when I did wear these, I think it was like my last time I wore those was the day before that Avril Lavigne concert. And so I went out to the track and I had, gosh, what was it, like 4 pairs of shoes? I had the Infinity Runs, which should be next. And I had the Kayano 31s and also the Kensei Maxes. I was doing like, I ran them like a mile or I don't know. I ran like a couple laps like in each one, just like changing shoes every lap or something like that. It was a long freaking morning. But in the end, I walked away with like how I felt about these things and shared that with the world. So now, moving on, this one right here, I was kind of looking forward to these. This is the Nike Infinity Run 4. I was looking forward to these because I really liked how the first pair went. But, I don't know, ultimately, they're not bad, but I looked forward to them, and then it wasn't a letdown exactly, but it wasn't, like, great either. So, take from that whatever you want to. And they look kind of dumb, and, like, the Volt color on here is kind of, like, washed out and crappy. So yeah, wasn't a great experience. Now that it's all coming back to my mind or whatever, and the sizing sucks, right? So yeah, maybe I don't like this shoe. Like now that I'm saying all this out loud, whatever. But yeah, so that's this, people. Go ahead and check it out. It's probably on sale. So do with that what you will. Like I said, it's not bad, right? None of these are necessarily bad. Like if you're looking for a running shoe, they will definitely do fine for you. It's just as you wear more things, you start to build up your own preferences, right? So it's the same reason some people might like, I don't know, like Burger King over Mooyah or something. I don't know. Whatever burger places people go to nowadays. Moving along, this one right here. This is the React Pegasus Trail 5, right? Well, that's just React X now. So they have that new phone, the React X, which made its debut in the Infinities, but then it was also put into these. Very nice feeling, though. If you're looking for a good trail shoe, so far, over the last however many years it's been, since 2020, I guess, maybe 21, the Pegasus Trail series has not wronged me, and that's kind of where I put my suggestions for overall trail shoes, trail running shoes. Anyway, so these right here, the South Khabib trail things, they're made after that whole, some trails down in Nevada, maybe? I don't know. Where's the Grand Canyon? Wherever that is. So, I like them. They're pretty colorful. Got some cool stuff going on as far as like how they're built, you know, as far as trail things go. So I would imagine that if you need something like that, you might like them too. They come from the If You Know, You Know series, which coincidentally, I don't know anything about that other than that is from it. I don't know what else was from there. That was just on the Nike webpage. But yeah, also one thing I will say, standard running shoes going onto trails, not necessarily like a good idea. Trail shoes going into like the streets or whatever, not bad, right? It's fine. They tend to sometimes feel a little weird depending on how the bottoms are, because like they can have those like extra high grips and whatnot, so sometimes it just feels weird to walk around in. But that's why they say they can go from like off-road to on-road or whatever with stuff like that. Whereas the other things, you may want to not do it. So this one right here, man, these things, I often forget just how heavy these are. It's significant. It truly is. Like, wearing these, walking around in them, holding them right now, not a fan of that. It makes sense for what it is, right? Again, I bought a lot of this stuff for functionality reasons, and this with the carbon fiber and all that, it's going to be a good inclement weather shoe, right? Which is a thing that's going on right now in some places, actually. So I can't complain about it overall for what it was made to do. And I knew getting into it, because I have a standard pair and that's heavy. So I knew that that was going to be a factor, but I still bought it, and they look pretty cool, and you know, the video's doing okay for itself, right? So it wasn't a complete waste of time, which is good. Because you know, sometimes I get stuff and I don't buy anything that I don't want, but sometimes like it is like a factor to buy something and think about, okay, is this something that people might be interested to hear about, right? And is it something that I want? And if it's a yes to both, then the buying often happens. If one of those is a no, then it usually doesn't, unless like a good sale comes along. So that's how my mind is made up. This right here is the, what is this? The Asics Gel NYC 2055. I had these on a couple days ago. These feel really nice. They did start off feeling a little tight down here in the toe box region, but you know, because I wore them to work and then to the gym maybe. I don't know what I did that day. But either way, after walking around in them for a bit, it felt a lot better. So that was cool. I can't really compare these to the standard Gel NYC because the last time I wore that was a while ago. I think I may have walked around in them just a little bit in here when I did this review. And if I did, then that is my only thoughts and they'd be covered in that video. But if you're wondering how these stack up to the standards, don't ask because I don't know. So there you go. The thing is, you know, like I have a fair amount of shoes or whatever, and it's kind of like getting into wearing all of them, not the easiest thing to do. Also, for those who are counting along, yeah, stack number 3. All right, an Ultra Boost 5X should be like that one with like the pink on it or something. 'Cause I bought those first. So as we were going into September, you know, I've been going out a lot with like running groups and stuff, just because it's a thing to kill time and, you know, doing all the extra 5Ks and 8Ks. I got a 10 coming up soon. You know, I've been buying a lot of shoes, but last month, September, was Boost month for me, right? So basically it's kind of like Air Max month where I only wear Air Maxes. But I just use September as Boost month because that's when I first bought Boost shoes many years ago. So I bought these because I was like, well, I'm going to need something to run around in since I'm doing that a lot. So I went over to Dick's Sporting Goods, picked these things up. This is the Ultra Boost 5X. It was the first color that came out. I remember seeing these from an email from Asics, from Adidas, and I thought, I'll wait for something better. But then push came to shove. I needed some shoes, and this was the best one out there. So I'm like, well, I guess we're just doing that then. And it worked out really well. Like the color itself is still like fine. It's not great, but I know there should be something better coming. But as far as wearing these things go, it's the first Ultra Boost I've really liked running in since the 19s that came out in 2019. But yeah, it's been pretty solid, man. So the price is kind of up there, but it's a little bit of a neck and neck sort of thing with the Kayanos, right? I'm leaning towards these in a way though, only because like the upper just feels a little better. They're both kind of like they both fit similarly or whatever, but those, well, these they just hug your feet a little better in the right area so that you don't feel like your foot's just like hanging out in there, you know? I'll tell you, that blue always catches me off guard. Well, so I also did a color run at some point in the month, and so that's why these look the way they look. They used to look like this pretty much all around, but now they look like that. So yeah, and I bought these just for that thing, because I figured, why not? And after I did, I realized, you know what? I have a pair of Ultra Boost 1.0s, I want to say it is. That's like a triple white. Did that review forever ago. Could have just wore those. Completely forgot about it. But yeah, either way, I do like these as a model. It works out very well. I still kind of hate the whole triple white thing, because it's just like, I just can't see a reason to wear those outside of something like this. But I would honestly say that about mostly anything that is all one color. But I have a firmer stance on the white pairs and the black pairs, because it's just so plain. If it's like those Bulls 12s or something, it was a cool color and an interesting material, so that makes it kind of okay. And you do get a little bit of a shading difference just because of the different materials. But ultimately, the monochromatic style, not a fan. Haven't pulled these out just yet. This is the Gel Kensei Max in black and oatmeal, or oatmeal and black. Probably the latter more so than the former, because there's more oatmeal than there is black. Either way, I bought these because I wanted to do a fresh review talking about them and all that and how I felt about them. Because the follow-up that I did was one of those short form videos, like 2 or 3 minutes long, whatever. And I felt like if there are other people out there like me, they're not gonna watch this. Right? Because I wouldn't have watched it. So I figured maybe I'll do another one and just put my follow-up in that and see how that does. And I like these a fair amount, and I thought that this would be a cool color to show off. Say, hey, there's other stuff out there, right? Go ahead and check them out. And I have seen people watching one of those videos. Either the blue one or the oatmeal one. Or I guess the follow-up one. Not as many, because I think most people still don't really know that the Kensei Max is out there, but hopefully people find out about it. But now they got the Glide Ride Max, which is a very similar thing. No gel, all foam, and a little cheaper. So, may have missed the boat on this. Number 4. Alright, what do we have in here? Super Blast, right? Yeah, Super Blast 2s. These right here. So, in September, I went to an Asics event over in Virginia Beach, right? With one of my little running groups or whatever, and the dude was talking about these and like the upcoming colors, and he described this one, the whitish silverish pair, and the black pair, right? The ones that came out on September 1st. And I thought, like, I'm getting that magenta pair because that sounds fantastic, and that's this one. So September 1st came around, I was refreshing the site, they popped up, bought them on the spot, no questions asked. I wasn't thrilled about spending $200 on them, but hey, I tell you what, it's kind of worth it, honestly. I've only got one run in on these, but these feel fantastic. Like, it's hard to really describe, but I'm going to do a full-on review or follow-up review later once I've got a couple more sessions in on these. Because a lot of the guys actually have these. And they were saying that they do get a little bit better, even though they start off like really good. They they break in, and then you really start to see a difference. But even right out of the box, like, I put them on and just like ran. I was like, oh my god, this is fantastic. Like, so either way, yeah, the Super Blast 2 in bold magenta and pink glow, right? And these are unisex sizes, right? So they don't make any men's or women's ones right now. So what that means is, unlike the Kayano series, if you buy one, you're not going to get something that's like specifically made anatomically for one foot versus another, men versus women, that is. You're just going to get an overall shoe. But it doesn't seem to be hindering anything. So it's nice when they do that for other models, right? It makes sense to do that. But if you're wondering if like these are men's or women's for like the Super Blast 2s, no, it's all unisex. And I think that's even on the side of the box there too. Yeah. Whereas like when you look at another Asics shoe, like this is like a man shoe, it's just gonna have man sizes. So there's that. But yeah, I'll get more into that. And actually I was at one of these recently, and I was talking to the guy because he was giving me the whole breakdown on another little Asics thing about the Glide Ride Maxes and stuff. So that's on the next agenda for purchasing or whatever. But I want to get I want to get some videos knocked out of the way before I go adding to the backlog. And actually, that's where I got this thing that I showed a picture of the other day. Some other nonsense over here. This right here is going to be the International Blue or Royal Foamposite 1. I didn't know that these were called International Blue until like way later after I'd made the video and I think I was uploading it or something. But either way, so these right here, I felt like this was completely an unnecessary purchase, honestly. So I wasn't going to go after them, but since they were readily available, and I do like Foamposites, and I like this color, so I went with it. But again, unlike the other stuff that you've seen that added some sort of functionality to my life, this is just something to talk about. So I put up the little comparison review, talking about the differences and all that nonsense, and that was kind of that. Because even though I do like the Foamposites, it's, you know, if I already have that, it's like I'm not going to get excited about it. But I was curious if it was going to be different, and it is. So they each have their ups and downs, though, as far as those minor differences. Now, this one right here, this is the Ultra Boost 5, not 5X, right? I saw this on Foot Shop, and I was like, oh, so they do have those. Let's go ahead and get one and see what the difference is. The cage. As I saw in the picture, that was the only difference, which is a good thing, right? They still feel really good. I would overall prefer to not have the cage, honestly, much like how I preferred the uncaged Ultra Boost over the caged Ultra Boost. Same thing still applies. Here we are, several years later, 8 years later, I don't know. But they're not bad. I did what did I do in these? I did a 5K last weekend in them, I think. Yeah, got my best time in them and all that good stuff, so that was cool, right? But ultimately, it's not, even though I kind of spoke down on them, because like, by comparison, it's easy to speak down on them because they're not as good as the other ones, but they're really good still. So I hope people like heard that part and like didn't just focus on the negative, right? Because I mean, when you're comparing things, something is usually better than something else. So, but does it matter? That's always the kicker, right? Last, certainly not least, because I do like the Jordan 12s, is this. Much like the same Foamposite thing, you know. I like Jordan 12s. I didn't need these, but I liked them, and they were readily available, and for $20 off. So here we are. Just recorded this review seconds ago, well, several minutes ago at this point. So that'll be up at some point. But yeah, pretty alright. I assume they're probably still around. So maybe you can get them for like a cheap price or something. I don't know. But there you go. There's everything I bought for the last quarter. So from me to you, have a nice rest of your day or rest of your night, wherever you are. I guess later today I should be doing a little live thing, recapping the whole Boost month thing, talking about all the shoes I wore and all that nonsense. But other than that, I'm done. So yay for me. Later, people.